I arrived in the Philippines thinking I was prepared. I had read the blogs, watched the YouTubers, and even downloaded a humidity tracker app, which, by the way, is the most useless thing on earth, when 95% of the country is always somewhere between humid and waterfall. I stepped out of the airport expecting the heat to slap me like a frying pan. And it did. Within 2 seconds, I was sweating in places I didn't even know had sweat glands. I wasn't just wet, I was emotionally melted. I was a tall, pasty American puddle of regret. And then I saw it. Filipinos. Wearing jackets. Not just light jackets. I'm talking layers. Hoodies, denims, puffer jackets. One guy was even wearing a beanie, in a temperature that I can only describe as boiling ravioli weather. I honestly thought I was hallucinating. The heat was so intense it felt like the air was spicy. So why in the name of global warming was this group of teenagers casually walking around wearing fleece? My first instinct was to assume they were just extremely cold-blooded. Or maybe Filipino skin had evolved some superhuman resistance to heat. Or, plot twist, maybe they were all training for some kind of tropical winter Olympics. I walked up to a girl wearing a black hoodie, full zipped, sleeves pulled tight, hood on. I was sweating just looking at her. "Hi," I asked. "Aren't you hot?" She blinked, pulled down her mask, and said, "Oh, this? No, Po, it's just kind of warm." Not so much. Not so much. Not so much? It was 30 degree. That's 90 degree. I was dying and she looked like she was about to sip a hot chocolate and watch the snow fall. My entire worldview shattered right there. I spent the next few days trying to understand what cosmic glitch created this bizarre difference in human tolerance. I was Googling, do Filipinos have cold blood? At 2 a.m., I was reading Reddit threads tagged Filipino mysteries. I asked a tricycle driver why he wore a jacket and he just said, "For safety lang." I was lost. So I started asking more questions. A lot of questions. Why do you wear a jacket when it's hot? Para hindi ako umitim. So I don't get darker. Translation, protecting the skin. Because it's cold inside. Aircon. They bring the jacket outside because the mall is freezing. Because I look pangit without a jacket. Something like, I feel ugly without a jacket. Because we have jacket. Okay, fair. I realized something. Filipinos have a different weather scale. It's not Celsius. It's not Fahrenheit. It's feelings-based. Here's what I gathered after 1 week in Manila. 28 degrees, chill lang. 30 degrees, pwede pa. 32 degrees, ayan, just bring water, okay? 34 degrees din, ayan, init pero kaya. 35 degrees, ayan, ay grabe, sobrang hot na. 36 degrees, wala na, bahala na si Lord. Meanwhile, as an American woman with normal sweat glands and a reasonable internal temperature control, anything above 25 degrees hike already puts me into zombie mode. At 30 degrees heights, I start regretting every life choice. At 35 degrees, I question the existence of God. But Filipinos don't flinch. They walk around like the sun owes them money. I even noticed that parents put jackets on their kids. Inside the mall. The mall. Which is, by the way, penguin temperature. I swear you could store ice cream in SM department store. One time, I asked a Filipino mom why she put a jacket on her daughter when they were inside an air-conditioned diner. So she doesn't get sick. You get sick when the body is cold. I wanted to say, in the US, we get sick when we're burning alive on the sidewalk, but I didn't. I just nodded and accepted that the laws of biology here were written by a different committee. Filipinos are built different. They complain about the same heat I'm allergic to, but they just shrug, wipe their foreheads with a banana leaf-sized towel, and continue eating isaw on the street like they are not actively sautéing from the inside. Meanwhile, I once almost fainted seeing a traffic police officer directing vehicles at noon while wearing a neon raincoat and a reflective vest. That was the moment I knew I couldn't win. But still, the jacket thing was haunting me, so I decided to try it. It was 1 p.m. in Quezon City, peak humidity, and the sun was sizzling. I pulled on a denim jacket, zipped it up, and forced myself to walk 2 blocks. I lasted 9 minutes. By minute 3, I felt like I was turning into roasted turkey. By minute 7, my soul left my body and was watching from above. At minute 9, I surrendered and bought a plastic bottle of water from an old lady who looked completely unbothered by my suffering. I finally asked her what the deal was. "Why aren't you hot in a jacket?" She laughed and said, "Sanay lang po kami." We're just used to it. Sanay. Used to. That word haunted me the rest of the day, because maybe the real answer wasn't science or biology or tropical superpowers. Maybe the answer was, Filipinos just keep going. Through heat, floods, traffic, brownouts, they push on, they adjust, they joke, they wear jackets, they adapt. Me? I was just a sweaty American girl who needed electrolytes every hour and a hat made of pure ice. But something changed after that. I stopped trying to fight it. I started bringing a jacket to the mall too. Not to look cool, but because Filipino aircon is so strong it could probably stop a cyclone. I started using a towel when I walked outside because sweat management is an Olympic-level skill in Manila. I started drinking buko juice. I started saying "in it" instead of "hot." And one night, I caught myself saying it. Kaya pa. I still didn't understand everything, but I understood this. Wearing a jacket in 30° C isn't about defeating the temperature. It's about learning to live in it. And Filipinos do that better than anyone. Now, when I see someone jogging in a hoodie under the tropical sun, I don't judge them. I salute them. Because they've unlocked a level of Filipino resilience I can only dream of. I might still melt every time the temperature goes above 27 degrees. But at least, now I get it. Because here the heat is just part of life. And Filipinos don't fear the sun. They just cover their arms and keep walking.